All right, let's get right into it. If you're in a big company that runs on SAP, you know the deal. Modernization is this huge, scary thing looming over everyone. We're talking about absolutely critical systems that have been customized for, like, decades. Just the thought of touching them is terrifying, right? So when SAP comes along and talks about a silver bullet called Clean Core, you bet people are going to pay attention. But the real question is, does it actually work?
And look at this. This question from a strategist at a Fortune 500 company just cuts right to the chase. It perfectly captures that skepticism from the leaders who are actually on the hook for these projects. You can feel the tension, right? It's the promise from SAP versus the tough reality on the ground. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack.
So, how did we even get into this mess? I mean, why is this so ridiculously hard to begin with? Before we can even talk about the solution, we've got to understand the problem, and that problem has a name. I call it the customization trap. This picture pretty much says it all, doesn't it? For years, companies have been weaving their custom code right into the heart of their SAP systems, creating that tangled spaghetti monster you see on the left. That's the messy core. It turns every single upgrade into a total nightmare. Innovation grinds to a halt, and you're just piling up technical debt. The dream, of course, is to get to that clean, organized, modular world on the right.
You know, I love this house renovation analogy because it just clicks. The old way of doing things is like setting your plumbing inside the concrete foundation of your house. What happens when you want to upgrade the kitchen sink? You got to get out a jackhammer. It's risky, it's expensive, it's a mess. The Clean Core idea is so much smarter. It's like building a new, modern extension that just plugs into the main house. Simple as that. Okay, so that's the problem. And this brings us right to SAP's big solution. What exactly is this promised land they're selling us called a Clean Core? Well, here's the official definition. According to SAP, it's up-to-date, transparent, and this is a big one, cloud compliant. But what does that really mean? The core idea is simple. You keep your most important business-critical stuff stable and standard. And all that other unique, custom stuff that makes your company special, you build that on the outside, where it's flexible and doesn't mess with the foundation. And of course, the list of benefits sounds like a dream come true, right? More agile, faster innovation, upgrades that don't give you a headache, and better data to make smarter decisions. I mean, this is the pitch. And on paper, who wouldn't want all of this? It's exactly what every CIO is asking for. But, and this is a big but, SAP makes it pretty clear this isn't some magic button you can just press. Clean Core is a whole strategy. It's a blueprint for how to get there, and it's built on 5 key pillars. Here they are. To do this right, you can't just focus on the code. You have to think about everything. Your processes, how you build extensions, your data, your integrations, and your day-to-day operations. It's a holistic approach. You can't just pick and choose. It touches every single part of the system. All right, let's run through these real quick. Pillar 1 is processes. And the idea here is simple, but it's powerful. Stop customizing things that don't actually make you more money. Does your company really need a one-of-a-kind payroll process? Probably not. So just use the standard one and move on.
Second, extensibility. Hey, that's our house analogy again. This is all about building your custom features as separate little apps. That way, when you need to upgrade the main system, the house, your custom extension doesn't break. It doesn't even notice. It's perfect.
Third is data. And this one is a no-brainer. You can't have a clean core with messy data. It's the whole garbage in, garbage out thing. This pillar is all about making sure your data is accurate and trustworthy, so the decisions you make are actually based on reality. Fourth, we've got integration. This is basically how your SAP system talks to all the other software you use. The clean way is to use modern standard plugs or APIs instead of those brittle custom-built pipes that always seem to spring a leak at the worst possible time. And finally, operations. And this one is so important because getting your system clean is one thing, but staying clean is a whole other challenge. This is about having the discipline to do regular housekeeping so that messy core doesn't start creeping back in over time. Okay, so that's the beautiful blueprint. It all sounds logical, it sounds smart, but now it's time for a heavy dose of reality. Let's hear from the people who are actually in the trenches trying to make this happen. And we're right back to our Fortune 500 strategist. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? The first hurdle is massive. The path to Clean Core, at least as it's sold by the big consulting firms, often comes with a giant price tag and a timeline that feels like forever. Let's just put it side by side, the promise versus the reality.
SAP promises faster innovation, but practitioners are saying, 18 months? No way. SAP says reduce complexity, but the folks on the ground know it's the customizations that kill you. What's pitched as a clear strategy often feels like you're just rewriting everything from scratch anyway.
And this comment from another person on Reddit just hits the nail on the head. Look, if this were easy, nobody would be paying consultants millions of dollars to manage it. Modernizing these massive systems is fundamentally hard work. There's no magic wand, there is no silver bullet.
So where does that leave us? What's the final verdict? Is Clean Core a genuine, forward-thinking strategy, or is it just a clever sales pitch to sell more software and services? Well, as usual, the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. Let's boil it all down. First, Clean Core is definitely more than just a buzzword. It's a really important philosophical shift in how you think about your entire enterprise system. Second, the real battle isn't about the code. It's about people. It's about changing the entire culture of an organization. And finally, you have to realize this is not a quick project. It's a long-term journey.
And you know what's really interesting? SAP itself seems to get this. This quote is from one of their own presentations, and it's so insightful. You don't start with a clean core. A clean core is what you earn. It's the outcome, the result of a long, disciplined transformation. It's the goal you're working toward, not a product you can just go buy. So I'll leave you with this one last question to chew on. In a world that's changing faster than ever, is having a messy, tangled core system just a technical headache for your IT department? Or is it actually an existential threat to your entire business, slowly strangling your ability to adapt and compete? The way you answer that question probably tells you everything you need to know about whether the pain of getting clean is really worth it.